ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ. Dear devotees, we have come almost the end of the Mundaka Upanishad, last chapter, last third Mundaka and second canto. So this is the end of the Mundaka Upanishad. It is as good as I can say that it is only a recapitulation, or it is only a, revision. So whatever has been told already in the nutshell, so the Rishi is trying to tell. If you remember my first, second class, so there was a discussion or question answer between Shaunaka and Angirasa. So the disciple asked, Kasminnu bhagavo vignatam sarva vidam vignatam bhavati iti. Oh sir, please tell me, by knowing one, by knowing which, everything will be known. Because of that one question, all these things started. Now, what is Atman or Brahman, Gnana, and what is Gnana Phala? By realizing Brahman, what do we get it? And Gnana Sadhanani. And what are the means to attain that Brahma Gnana? Again, attaining Brahma Gnana is only in a limited sense we are using it, or just, it is not actually attaining, actually we are losing ignorance. All these things we have seen. Now, in the last chapter, last shloka, if you remember, 15 days before we discussed, there the Rishi glorified the Brahmagnani. Brahmagnani is a great person, is almost like Ishvara, except he doesn't have the power of creation, power of sustenance, power of dissolution. That is Srushti Shakti, Sthiti Shakti, and Pralaya Shakti. Except that, more or less, whatever the powers Ishvara has got, more or less all that powers has got even for Brahmagnani. And if you worship Brahmagnani, all your desires can be fulfilled. Your prayers are answered. Either it is bhukti or mukti. Now you want a prajani. Many times people say, oh Swamiji, can you pray for my daughter? Why? Because she is going to marry. Even if you go to the traditional pontiffs, traditional mutts, they say mantrakshata. The Ashirvada blessings is given in the form of mantrakshata, rice particles. So they expect that. Why? Because if you get it, then my son or daughter will get a right bride or bridegroom. Oh Swamiji, can you please pray for us? Why? We need an house in a right place, in the heart of the city, or in a very secured place. Now, I'm not saying all of them are wrong. People would approach the monks, approach Gyanis. Oh Swamiji, can you pray so that my fever or health be restored? Or so that my son or daughter go to foreign? Or let them settle in their life. Let their our grandson, granddaughter settle. All these things which comes under bhukti, that is the worldly desires. So we approach Brahmagnanis, we approach sadhus, we approach God to fulfill our materialistic desires. I'm not saying it is bad or wrong. I mean, I'm stating the facts. And there are few people, oh Swamiji, can you bless for me? Can you pray for me? Why? So that let me have unflinching devotion at the lotus feet of the God. Let me have vairagya more and more. Let me think God more and more. Let me get liberated in this life itself. I don't want to come anymore. I don't want birth again. So spiritual people, spiritual mindset people, bhaktas, they want to be intensify their spiritual practices, and they want to experience God or the self, and they want to be liberated. No, both has been told beautifully in the Bhagavad Gita. 4 types of bhaktas are there. Artha, Artharthi, Jignasu, and Gnani. Artha, one who is in stress, one who is in distress, one who is in difficulties, he approaches the God. Artharthi, one who is desiring for wealth, name, fame, power, position, money, land, buildings, all these things comes under wealth basically. One who is desiring for that. Then Gnani, one who wants to know what is the secret behind the world, what is the secret behind these atoms, what is the secret behind creation, or what is the secret behind Vedic knowledge. And Artha Jignasu, one who wants to know the truth, one who wants to experience the truth. Of course, Jignasu and Gnani, contextually the meanings changes. So all the 4 approaches the God. Artha and Artharthi comes under Bhuktas, that is worldly pleasure seeking people, and Gnani and Jignasu comes under spiritual personalities, one who wants the ultimate reality. Then any type of both or either of them or both of them approach Brahmagnani, their desires, their prayers are fulfilled. So there, the greatness of the Brahmagnani has been told actually. But actually, if you go deep and study, the Upanishad's intention is not glorifying the Brahmagnani, though at surface level you feel that, but through that, the Upanishad is glorifying the Brahmagnana, the self-knowledge. If you get self-knowledge, how you will be complete personality, how you will be complete man or human. Man means here human being. How you will be complete human being. So that is if you go a bit deeply studying, technically, academically and all, we say Anvaya Vitireka. So the Anvaya Vitireka has been told there. I mean, just in a crude example, I'm giving, for example, of Anvaya Vitireka. How? Such and such a person is been adored. Such and such a person has been followed by many people. Why? Because he has got lot of wealth. He's a millionaire. For an example, maybe Ambani. Why everyone likes Ambani? Wherever Ambani goes, why people follow them? Again, I'm not judgmental about him. I'm not saying he's good or bad, right or wrong. Just I'm telling the fact or what happens in the world. Because he has got wealth. So it is not that people are liking Ambani, maybe few, but most of them are following him. Why? Because of his wealth. So wherever there is a wealth, then there is a love and respect. If not love, respect. And wherever there is no wealth, there is no respect. This is called Anvaya Vitireki. So that Anvaya Vitireki, if you use it, you'll be able to understand that wherever the Brahmagnana is there, and such a person, one who has it, one who gets it, he is worshipped. He has got a lot of powers. He is a complete personality. And the same idea, the glorification of the Brahmagnani, by glorifying the Brahmagnani, and Brahmagnana is glorified, that is also has been continued in this 3rd Mundaka, 2nd canto, 1st sloka. Let us try to read. Sa Vedai Tatparamam Brahmadama Yatra Vishwam Nihitam Bhati Shubram Upasate Purusham Hi Akamaha Te Shukrametad Ativartanti Diraha. He who knows this supreme abode, this Brahman, in which the universe is placed and which shines, which is holy in nature, those wise ones who are becoming desireless worship this enlightened person, transcend this human seed. Now let us try to understand word by word, through which we'll be able to understand the philosophy. If you remember, in last two classes, I started explaining the each word's meaning in detail, and by that, how one can understand the whole sloka yourself, or how can you make a independent study, or how can you try to make an independent study. This was told by me last 2 classes. Now, Saha. Saha means he. Here, he means who? The Brahmagnani, the knower of Brahman. Because Saha means he means it is a pronoun. So if there is a noun, then if you use pronoun, there will be a link. Many times people say, I keep on making this joke. Swamiji, he said that. Fine. He said, you are saying, first sentence itself, when you start the conversation, you are saying, he said that. Who is that he? Whom you are referring to? Oh, Swamiji, John Peter said. Okay, now you tell me. John Peter said, and afterwards you use pronoun he, then I can understand that. At the beginning itself, if you start using pronoun, then I cannot understand who is it, because what is in your mind, I don't know. So here Upanishad is using, which is unlikely, he, saha, he refers to the previous shloka, that he means here the Brahmagnani, the knower of Brahma. Here Brahmagnani means it is not intellectual knowledge, one who has experienced. I am Brahman, aham Brahmasmi. Saha, he, Veda. Here Veda means not the Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, or here Veda means knows. Here again, knows means one who has experienced. Okay, experiential knowledge. Here Veda means knows, knows means here experiential knowledge. Yetat Paramam, or Yetat Brahman, this Brahman. This Brahman means what? The Brahman which was Satchid Ananda. Yetat Brahman, this Brahman, and Paramam Dhama. It is the best abode, because where everything is residing. For example, I am sitting on the chair. Now, chair can be shaky. Many times we'll be sitting in the chair. Suddenly, chair gets shaky, and especially leaning, suddenly we will fall off. And I'm standing somewhere on maybe table, on chair, and so many other things. They may not be best. But if I'm standing on the earth, the earth can be the best supporter. So similarly, the Brahman is the Paramam Dhama, the best abode. Why? Because everything is being dependent on this Brahman. If you remember my Tattvabodha Aprokshanubhuti classes, so the Brahman is the material cause as well as the efficient cause. Now, when we make a pot, the material cause is what? Clay. And the efficient cause is what? The potter. Now, here the world is the product. If you see what is the material cause, if you ask, that is Maya, and the efficient cause is what? The Brahman. But now there is the Brahman and Maya cannot be separated. They both are inseparable. So Brahman is the efficient and material cause of the universe. So the whole world has been emerged from the Brahman. The whole world is existing in the Brahman, and the whole world gets dissolved in the Brahman. Just for an example, dream. You started experiencing the ice cream. So the dream came out. The dream was emerged in the mind, from the mind, and dream sustained in the mind, and dream got dissolved in the mind. So similarly, the whole world emerged from the Brahman, and it sustained in the Brahman, and afterwards it dissolved in the Brahman. That's why it is called Paramam Dhama. It is the best abode. Now, this Dhamma actually has got two meanings. One is light, and the other is abode. Now, the two meanings has been told in the next line. Yatra. Yatra means where. Here again, where means what? Because again, it is a pronoun. Where means what? In which Brahman? In the Brahman which was referring to, in that Brahman, Yatra, in where, in which Brahman, Vishwam Nihitam. The whole universe is placed. The abode, the meaning of Dhamma has been told here, Vishwam Nihitam. So the whole world is fixed. The whole world is residing in that. Where? In that Brahman. Vishwam Nihitam. Yatra, where the whole world is fixed. Means whole world is placed. Whole world is depending on for its existence. Yatra Vishwam Nihitam. Bhati, shining. Here shining means it is not just a light. Of course, the literal translation is light. Here light is awareness. So basically, the Brahman is self-effulgent, whereas the world is not self-effulgent. Sun has got its own energy. We all know that energy and light, whereas the moon is borrowing. So similarly, now everything is borrowing the awareness for its existence from the Brahman, whereas Brahman is self-effulgent. So one is light, the other is abode. Both are told in the Vishwam Nihitam, Vishwam Bhati. So Brahman is the support, and Brahman is the self-revealing object, or it is the Swayam Prakasha, we can say. Swayam Prakasha or Jyoti, all these things. So what is the nature of Brahman? The Brahman is Parandama. It is the supreme abode. Okay. And Vishwam Nihitam. It is the whole universe is staying on that, residing on that. And Bhati. The Brahman, the nature of the Brahman is what? Shining, self-effulgent, Swayam Prakasha. And Shubhram, very important, beautiful word. Shubhram means holy, pure, and free from all types of impurities. The Ganga, when you see in the Gangotri, and even before coming to Rishikesh and all, water is so pure. Or at the most, you may see little muddy water. But again, if you filter, then there is no problem. It has got highly medicinal value, highly pure water. If you drink, nothing happens. But once it, goes out from the Haridwar, Rishikesh and Haridwar and all, slowly when it's entered Bihar and all, then slowly water gets polluted. When it comes to Calcutta, oh my God. Many times when we see, our devotion can be, shaken. Why? Because we see good amount of impurities. So the water was pure in its source, but when it is flowing after so many kilometers, it is getting polluted. Why? Because pollutants have been added. Lot of waste have been added. Similarly, we can see in the lakes, we can see in the rivers, different rivers, water bodies. The same thing we can see in the soil also. If, for an example, chemical factory is there and chemical factory is leaving its all the impurities without filtering, then slowly that part of the soil which was getting that all the dust, industrial dust, that part of the land got contaminated. Either its acidic value gets increased, if chemical things gets increased, you cannot grow there, and people staying there, they will have problems, health problems and all these things. Similarly, because of the smoke and etc., even the air gets polluted. So air gets polluted, water gets polluted, earth also gets polluted. Okay. Now I am adding lot of rubbish things to the fire. What happens? Does fire gets polluted? No. Fire, it's burned off everything. It cleans, it burns. It never gets polluted. And what about the space? No. Because the Delhi has been polluted, or Bangalore has been polluted, it has got a polluted air pollution, environmental pollution. Does it mean the space which has got in the Bangalore, or the Bangalore in the space, or the space in the Bangalore has been polluted? No. So the fire and the space is not polluted, even though things are polluted. So similarly, the Brahman, which is beyond all them, the Brahman is Shubhra, it doesn't get polluted. We are good people. Because of constant some company with the wrong people, unholy people, bad people, we may get contaminated. We may get mood of interesting story. I mean, on the lighter note, I'm telling you. When I joined the monastery, I never had a habit of taking a coffee. Very rarely, when I used to get cold, mother used to give me the coffee so that the cold will go away. That was the medicine in those days. Anyhow, so after my joining, after 6 months, when Brahmachari Maharaj joined, he used to take regularly coffee and tea. After a few days, once he asked, Maharaj, would you like to have a coffee? I said, thanks, Maharaj. I don't have any habit of taking coffee. He said, fine. Then after a day or two, he asked, Maharaj, would you like to have a coffee? I said, brother, few days before I told you very clearly, I don't have any habit, so please excuse me. Then again, after 1 or 2 days, he asked, Maharaj, why don't you take a coffee? Then I said, why are you asking me again and again? I don't have a habit of taking coffee. He said, yes, fine. But why don't you take a sip of coffee, giving a company to me, with me? So that was an obligation. I should not have heeded probably. I said, okay, since you are telling, just to give a company with you, I will take a sip of coffee. Just little coffee is enough. Okay, 1 or 2 days. Then he said, Maharaj, that day you took, why that day, extra day or day before you took, why don't you take now? Please give a company with me. Otherwise, I have to take alone. Okay, as an obligation to give a company, I started taking with him. Slowly, it became a habit for me. And every day morning after breakfast, I take coffee now. So few years before, 2 decades before, I never had a habit of taking coffee. Now, more or less, if coffee is there, better. Otherwise, I may feel a bit uneasy or whatnot. Of course, if I am diverted my mind with puja or other things and all, okay, no problem. Otherwise, generally mind seeks a cup of coffee. Now, I never had that habit because of the company or because of the obligations I started taking. Then it became a habit. Like that, if we are not careful, when we are living in the world, when we are living with the people, amidst different natured people, we knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, we get contaminated. We get affected by them. But whereas the Brahman doesn't get affected by that. The Brahman is with the holy company, with the sadhus. So it is getting purified. Then the Brahman is with a lot of unholy people, like maybe even thieves or gundas or terrorists. Then Brahman gets unpolluted or polluted? No. The Brahman, whether it is with the holy monks or it is with the even terrorists, it doesn't get neither polluted nor unpolluted. It is always pure. It is ever pure. Why? It is the subject and it is never the object. So that has been told in this one word, simple word called Shubhram. So this is also one more, the corollary we can take from here is, then when I say good person and bad person, saint and the sinner, gentleman and the wicked person, then is it wrong? No, it is right. It is a fact. Then you are saying that the Brahman is Shubhram, then everyone is Brahman actually, then why these differences are there? And then how should we see them? So here, when I say good person or when I say wrong person or a bad person or a wicked person, that means we are referring to his mindset. We are referring to his actions. We are referring to their intentions. We are referring to their, their character and personalities, not to their inherent self. Because whatever the self is in Buddha, whatever the self is in Angulimala, both are alike. There is no difference at all. Then one is saint and the one is sinner. Why? It is only external covering because of the wrong actions. The wrong actions is what? Why? Because of wrong thoughts. So when I say good person and bad person, we are referring only to the external personality, character or actions or thoughts. Now, the Brahman is beyond all of them. That is the reason the Brahmagnani sees Shunichaiva Shvapakecha Pandita Samadarshinaha. Pandita means here Brahmagnani. The person who has experienced. Pandita Samadarshi. He has got equanimous mind. Where Shunichaiva Shvapakecha. One who is a dog eater. One who is a saint, one who is a wicked person, and all different type of people with a different type of animals or whatever, so different type of beings. When he sees them, he doesn't see any difference. Why? Inherently, everyone is a Brahman. Then upasate, when you worship such person, what happens? You will get bhukti and you will get mukti. Purusham upasate. Here Purusha means here the individual person or the seeker. Purusham upasate, ye, ye means those, he akamaha te. Now, if you want progeny, if you want money, if you want promotion in the, your job, or you want to get away from some problems or difficulties, court case, now you worship. You seek God's help, you seek divine grace, you seek Brahmagnani's grace in all these fulfilling materialistic needs. Yes, it has been fulfilled. Or rather, I'm not really bothered about all these things. I want only Gnana, Brahmagnana. I want only Ishvara Anubhava, experience of God, experience of self. Or I want realization. I want purity. I want renunciation, detachment. Keeping this in the mind, I am approaching the Brahmagnani. I am approaching the God. Then your prayers, your fulfilled, your desires are fulfilled. So it is up to one's own, how we are approaching the God. So many times people say, oh, if God is all powerful, then why is he allowing to do wrong things? People are doing wrong things. Why is he allowing? Or sometimes people say, if God is all powerful, God is in me also, then why did he allow me to do wrong thing? God has warned us not to do it, but still we did it. Because God is not a dictator. He gives the freedom. Now, if I want good thing, yes, that is also granted. If I want bad thing, that is also granted. Now, Dhruva, he had a strong willpower. As a young boy, He used that willpower and he saw the Narayana. Now Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, this Mahishasura, Shumba, Nishumba, all the demons, all of them also very had strong willpowers. They also did lot of tapas penance for hundreds of years, and they saw the god, either Brahma or any other gods. They got special boons, but unfortunately, all their willpower, might, and penance was used in the wrong direction. So, but God was aware of that, but still he bestowed. Why? Because of their karma, because of their penance. Now, God cannot be, what you say, scolded, or God cannot be said he's right or he's wrong. Whatever you want, he gives. So God is impartial. God is never partial. The problem of evil is a very big question in the, Semitic religions. So Christianity has been challenged quite a few times about this problem of God. They were not able to give right answers. But here, Karma Siddhanta and the Advaita Vedanta both can give beautiful answers for this. So, akamaha. Here, akamaha means one who is free from desires. One who is established in the Karma Yoga, in the traditional sense, I'm saying. So, one who is established in the Karma Yoga, one who has got Chitta Shuddhi, one who has got free from the impurities of mind. Or in the layman's language, if you want me to say, one who has got stabilized mind, one who has got emotional stability, intellectual maturity, emotional maturity. What is right, what is wrong, he knows, and he sticks on to his convictions. All of us, we know what is right, what is wrong, but we are not able to stick on. Our minds are wavering and our emotions are going up and down, and etc., etc. But akamaha, one who is free from desires, is firmly convinced that I want God and God alone. I want self and self alone. I don't want anything else. So nishkama karmi means akamaha. Te purusham upasate. If such people worship, the Brahmagnani, then what happens? Ativartanti. They transcend. They transcend what? They transcend this world. They transcend this cycle of birth and death. Shukram etad ativartante. Those people who are free from, who are free from all desires, ativartante, they transcend etad shukram. Here, shukram means seed, this human seed. This human seed means, which is the material source of the body. Now, I have not experienced the Brahman. I know what is Brahman, but I have not experienced, I have died. Then what happens? Then again, my subtle body seeks the womb, mother's womb, to take one more birth. Whereas if I have experienced the Brahman, when I have experienced the Brahman, then if I die, then no more birth and no more death. This will be the last life. So, Yedat Shukram, this human seed, means which is the source for the material cause. Ativartante, he transcends, means he will not have any more birth and death. So if you get Brahmagnana, what does it get? Do I get two hands? Will I get promotion in my life? Will my bank balance will be increased? No, none of them. Then what? Then why should I seek Brahmagnana? By seeking Brahmagnana, by having Brahmagnana, what do you get it? What do I get it? You will ativartante. Etat shukram ativartante. I will transcend the human seed. Means the cause, the source of my birth has been nullified, has been destroyed. So when I die, this Sukshma Sharira gets merged in Karna Sharira, and Karna Sharira gets merged in Atman or Brahman. Then no more birth and no more death. So no more birth and no more death. Then no more going to kindergarten school, and no more studies, no more working, no more facing all these problems or challenges or ups and downs, etc., etc. I am with myself. I am in myself. I am with myself. So now, here akama, terms and conditions apply. So one who is akama, he can only be successful in spiritual life. That is very clear. So I want both. If you say yes, fine, but the real spiritual progress, if you want, you can't have both actually. You may live in the world, but the worldliness should not be in your mind. That is what the important thing we have to understand here. Now, the second sloka. So getting rid of desires. getting rid of desires is the chief discipline for the spiritual aspirants, has been told in the first shloka. And such people, if they approach Brahmagnani, they will get moksha, also has been told. So no more karma, no more birth and death. Now say for an example, I have got some desires. Then what happens to me after death? What happens to me has been told in the second shloka, which most of us we know. Let us try to understand. Kamanyah kamayate manyamanah sa kamabirjayate tatra tatra paryapta kamasya kutatmanastu ihaiva sarve praviliyanti kamaha. He who covets the desirable things while brooding on their virtues is born amidst those very surroundings along with the desires. But for one who has got his wishes fulfilled and who is self-poised, all the longingness vanish even here. Today morning, one devotee here, he came to, to deliver the lunch for us. Every day one devotee bring the lunch for us, lunch and dinner put together. So one devotee came. So then I was having my breakfast fruits and he was having his cup of tea. Then we were discussing. Then he said, Swamiji, we had recently Vedanta retreat. So he was asking me, Vedanta and all is nice. I heard beautiful. But what happens to me after the death? He said, if you have experienced Brahmagnana, no more birth and death. If not, then again you will take birth and you will continue your progress. He said, fine, Swamiji, now I have taken 2 steps with the Brahmagnana, towards Brahmagnana. Now I die. Now I might be born in a different country, with a different religion, different cultural context, where I may not be able to understand this Brahmagnana, where I may not be allowed to understand or study this Brahmagnana. Then all my practices, whatever I did in this life, will go in vain. So I am not able, neither I may enjoy the world, nor I will get Brahmagnana. So whether to pursue or not. So this is an age-old question. Even Krishna also asked in Bhagavad Gita, the same question was asked very seriously by that devotee. I said, so whether you born in India, whether you will take birth in Europe or America or whichever religion or whatever, so, but still, in spite of all that, from where you stop, from there, you will continue your spiritual life. That has been told clearly by our scriptures in Bhagavad Gita, I think 6th chapter, it is very clearly told. Now, I have completed most of the sadhana, which left out. Then I may be born in the poor family or in the rich family, where it is conducive to, the atmosphere is conducive to spiritual life. I may be born in rich family or poor family, but the atmosphere will be conducive to my spiritual life. Now I am born with I died with lot of desires. I want this, I want that, and I have done lot of charity work, lot of punya I have accumulated, and also I have had lot of desires to enjoy the world. Then I die. Then I will be born in probably in the rich family or in the atmosphere where I will struggle or I will work out and I will earn a lot of money and I will enjoy my life. I will try to fulfill my worldly desires. Based on my desires and based on my actions, my future life is established or is decided. So this is also one more question. Now XYZ has been born as a son and the daughter of Ambani or some maybe Tata son or any rich millionaires son and daughters. Why we were not? Why God didn't give an opportunity for us to be born as the son and daughters of millionaire? This question can come. This question haunts very few people or quite a few people. Why that happens is because of their purva karma phala, because of the good actions, whatever they have done in the previous life. And apart from that, the desires which they had in their mind. So that has been told here. Yaha. Yaha means he who. He who means here the spiritual aspirant. He who kamayate kaman. One who hankers for worldly desires or desirable things. Again, desirable things only. So that means more or less it is told ethical and ethically, morally, which you can, which you are eligible to desire. Not all the things. Kaman kamayate. And here common seen desires, unseen desires, like going to the heaven, also going to the above worlds. All these things are included here. Yeah, kaman kamayate, one who hankers after the desires, which desirable desires. Manyamana, sa manyamana is brooding on that actually. Oh, if I get thousands of rupees, thousands of dollars, how beautiful. Oh, if I have get a probably BMW car or Tesla vehicle, how beautiful. Yeah, I am assistant manager. If I become manager, my life will be settled. Or if I get a look at government job, I will be settled. So like that, we brood on many things, on power, position, name, fame, or some success, or some materialistic prosperities, or a good family, or good progeny. So many things we brood. So Manyamana is brooding on them. Now, you should remember again, if you remember my earlier class, all the desires have got three drawbacks. What is that? Dukkha Mishritatvam. How much ever that's the best desire, a good desire, but it contains Sukha and Dukkha. Pleasurable and unpleasurable things are included in all type of worldly desires. Dukkha Mishritatvam. Atrupti Karatvam. One more is, I wanted 10,000 rupees, or maybe 100,000 rupees, or 10 crores. I got, my mind is desiring for 15 crores now. I got it. Then I'm desiring for 20 crores. So how much ever I get it, afterwards, still I don't feel happy or satisfied. I want more and more, hankering for more and more. This is what happens with the sense gratification. We wanted a mobile, simple mobile, we got it. Afterwards, better mobile, the best mobile, iPhone and whatnot. Then bandhakatvam. We seek things, and afterwards things seek us, and things start ruling us actually. The mobile phone is the best word, is called sell. We purchase mobile phone, and afterwards mobile phones lead us, mobile phone guide us, mobile phone rule us actually. If there is no mobile phone, then as if we feel, so many people I'm seeing now, even starting from young age, not even adults or adolescents, even kids actually I'm seeing without phone, they'll be very unhappy. So parents are bound to give the mobiles, otherwise life will be difficult for them. Parents are saying nowadays in many places. So bandhakatvam, it creates bondage. So that we should be understand. We should understand. Yeah. So saha kama bihi jayate tatra tatra. Such person has, based on his desires, based on his nature of desires, he takes birth. The best example is given in the Bhagavata is Jadabharata. Jadabharata was, he had fulfilled all his, worldly duties, and he was very good sadhaka, and he went to forest. So basically, more or less sadhana chatushtaya sampannata he had, and he was a very good sadhaka. His mind was under his control, more or less, and he wanted to go, and he wanted to reflection or contemplation, so that he can be liberated. He can experience God or self, and he will be free. So he went and he built a small small hut, thatched it, and he was doing his contemplation. One fine day, he saw the deer is giving birth to, is trying to give a birth. And while giving birth, because of the labor pain or whatever the reason, the deer died after giving the birth to the small ones. Now the small deer has been left free, no one is there to take care. So Jadabharata, out of compassion, thought, "Arey, if I leave this deer, small baby deer, what will happen?" So either cheetah or leopard or some wild animals, maybe tiger or lion may come and eat. Such a small ones, and it looks so beautiful. And I think we should take care of. I should take care of. So he didn't have any other desires. He came to the forest as a forest dweller, and he was trying to do spiritual practices so that to liberate himself. And now he got this baby deer. Out of compassion, he bought that baby deer and he started taking care of it. Then slowly, his mind started thinking about it all the time. Whether it ate or what, whether it slept or what, whether it is okay or not, whether any wild animal is coming to snatch it or what. So slowly, mind started coming down, 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 so much so that his mind was completely obsessed with this baby deer, and he was unable to meditate, unable to concentrate. And at that, with that mindset, he died, and in the next life, he became the deer actually. So there's a very interesting story of Jadabharata in the Bhagavata. He didn't have any other desire except one. He was obsessed with the deer, baby deer, and in that mindset he died, and he became the deer next life in its next life. Then afterwards again he was there. Then he understood his mistake, and he repented. And after the death of the deer, again he was born as a great spiritual personality, and in no time he experienced who is here, who am I, and afterwards he was liberated. But anyhow, it took for 2 more janmas. So this example is given, often in our scriptural studies. So one desire, just obsessed with the baby desire, made him to go for 2 janmas. Then we have got a number of desires in our minds. We ourselves know. Then what happens to us? As we seek, as we desire, whatever, accordingly, we will get our parents, we get the home, we get the village, we get all the things which are conducive to our life. That is what he's saying. Sa kama bihi jayate tatra tatra. As we discuss, as we desire, so what do you say? We are born along with the desires. And we are born in such surroundings which is conducive to experience all of them. Paryapta kamasya. Paryapta kamasya means for the man of fully satisfied. He is free from all desires and is satisfied, is contented. He thinks, I want God and God alone. I want self and self alone. Or Atma Gnana or Bhagavad Gnana. I want that's all. I don't need anything else. I want Bhagavad Anuraga and Vishay Viraga. I am trying to seek God. I'm trying to see God. I want that alone. And I don't want this worldliness or world or whatever. So such person, such mindset person, paryapta kamasya, one who is free from all desires, one who is feel contented about this worldly prosperity and worldly progress. Krutatmanaha. Krutatmana means one who Krutatmanaha means like one who is free from this kartutva, bhoktrutva, and pramatutva. People do a lot of good works. Oh, he's a very good organizer. He can do anything and everything. But at the same day, he's got a lot of ego problem. So how much ever he does work, there is no limit for it, and there is no enough. He wants to do, he wants to do, he wants to do. It is good, no doubt. It is better than laziness. But if you go on doing with the selfish actions, then we will struggle, suffer. Then I do work and I want to enjoy the fruits of action. Then I am aware of that I am doing all these things. All these things are with Ajnani. Whereas Kutatmanaha means one who is free from all these things. Means one who has given up this limited I, limited ego, and one who is trying to switch over himself to the higher ego, higher I, that is the self. So the Ajnani is always connected himself with, attached to himself with his body, mind, actions, its results, etc., sense gratification. Whereas the real spiritual aspirant, he is trying to switch over himself or trying to connect to himself with the higher self. Here, higher self means just pure awareness, pure consciousness. That is what. So such person is called Krutatmanaha to ihaiva. In this world, in this body, sarve praviliyanti kamaha. So sarve kamaha praviliyanti. Praviliyanti means all his desires will be vanished. All his desires will be vanished. Then ihaiva, in this world, living in this physical world and living in this body, then that means he attains the Jivan Mukta state. Jivan Mukta. One who is liberated while living in this world, living in this body. So this is again unique contribution of Advaita Vedanta based on the Upanishads. So one is Videha Mukti, Krama Mukti, and Jivan Mukti. Videha Mukti is at the time of death. I understand who am I, experience who am I, then I am liberated. That is called Videha Mukti. Then Krama Mukti is based on my sadhana, based on my good actions and this Jigna Sutatva, seeking for liberation and all. After I die, I go in a particular path, and I go to Brahmaloka. I stay in Brahmaloka at the end of dissolution, pralaya, mahapralaya, then I get liberated. That is called Krama Mukti. Then the third type of mukti is called Jivan Mukti, means while living in this body, living in this world, I am liberated. So that has been told in the second one who is free from all desires, one who has subsided all these desires, and one who seeks God and God alone, one who seeks Atman and Atman alone, such a person gets liberated in this world. And for that, if you need a help, you can seek the help of Brahmagnanis. Okay, I want liberation, but I am unable to get it. So I'm seeking your help. So please help me to get rid of all these problems and ignorance so that I shall experience my real nature, my inherent nature. So that has been told in the second chapter, second sloka. Now, people may say, okay, I have studied a lot, or I have thought about a lot, or I am good at Vedas, Upanishads. At any corner you ask, I can tell. So, as a Pandita, in general sense, we say that such type of people can attain Brahmagnana without a purity of mind, without a sadhana chatushtaya sampannata. That question can come. That has been told in the third and fourth shloka that we will try to understand in the next class. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu. Yeah, any questions?
Pranamara. So I have a mundane question. So
Yeah.
you gave that example of that coffee, drinking coffee like that. So many of the times we have to do some work or something to please others. We cannot avoid it and something. But then we are not happy to do that, and also in our mind also we keep on brooding that why I have to do it or why I have done. So how to get off this, and that mental disturbance that again means brings our mind much down.
Yeah. So here, yes, you are right. So some things definitely you can take up a call. It is based on absolutely based on your decision. You can definitely say no. Then if that is the case, then definitely you should say no, first point. And second thing, XYZ has told there is an obligation, but still which is not conducive to your spiritual life, which is not right action at all. If that is the case, whoever says, then we can say, sorry, no. Second. Third is, yes, someone has asked us to do something, small thing. I'm not really interested, but still, because just as an obligation, I may have to do it. I think you can go ahead. If it is not too much boggling, we have to do it. But the problem here comes is we are struck with our emotions and egos, actually, most of the places. We don't have really spiritual problems. Most of our problems, as of now, with most of us, our problems are always with the adjustments, intrapersonal relationships, and egos and emotions. But we will give the color of spirituality. That's where we have to be very clear about it. This happens for us very often in our monasteries. For example, morning we are supposed to sit and meditate. Okay. Now some work has been given to us now. So then, because of that, my meditation, I'm supposed to sit for 1 or 2 hours, and because of the work, only half an hour I have to sit. I can sit afterwards. I have to get up and I have to go for meditation. Now the brahmacharis, some of them they feel, I came here, I joined here to meditate for God realization, and morning and evening is the best time, as Sri Ramakrishna has told. And here monastery, they're asking me to work. Did I come here to work? Because I was working a lot in my company. In MNC company, I was working and I was already doing that. Why should I come here to work? Now here the intentions are different. That is the one thing. Okay, since I am in an organization, I am supposed to be bound by few rules and regulations. Fine. Morning, for whatever the reason they have asked me to work. Okay, let me work. Instead of 2 hours, I am able to meditate only half an hour. Fine. But there is other time where we can sit and meditate. that we can think, we can devise our own routines and we can meditate. But that we don't do. So many times there are practical solutions. We have to use our common sense actually. But if something is very really disturbing for my spiritual life, I should say, in a humble way, we should say no. For example, when I joined, after 6 months are said, our in-charge Swamiji has asked us to go for book sales. Means take the books and wherever the programs are there, his programs are there, go and, how do you say, you spread and you try to sell the Vedanta literature. Yes, it is a part of service, it is a part of spreading Vedanta and all fine. I did for a few times, though I was not interested, I did it. But afterwards, I was feeling really difficult for my spiritual life, for whatever the reason. But I was unable to tell to the in charge or the pontiff or the Adhyaksha Swamiji. Then I went to manager Swamiji and I told, Maharaj, with all due respect, is all part of service, no doubt, Karma Yoga. Well, but at this given point of time, I am unable to do that. And my mind is getting disturbed from all these things. So I request and I beg your pardon and I request, please speak with in-charge Swamiji and so that I can get, please relieve me from this work. You can give me some other work in the monastery. I'm ready to do, but outside I'm not able to go at right now. Please excuse me. So with all the right intention, with the sincerity when I approached, with the God's grace, yes, that was taken care, that was considered, and I was told, okay, you need not to go. And some other work was given. I was happy to do that. So when we are sincere, these prayers are answered. This is the second part. Third, no, I am sincere with all right intention, with good intention, I approached. Then this, nothing, all is all karma yoga, do it, nothing happens, blah, blah, all these things they told. I cannot do it, but still they're asking me to do it. This also can be sometimes challenges for us. If we are feeling difficulty from that, we can sincerely pray to the God. We can sincerely pray to the, our gurus, our God, especially. By this action, it is disturbing my mind. Either please give me strength so that I can raise my mind and I can work, or otherwise bring a situation in such a way that I need not to do this work. So these are the probably solutions or the solutions I would like to give you. I hope your question is answered.
Yes, Maharaj, means it's okay, but in samsara we don't get such a sympathetic manager, Maharaj, no? Who will understand. So that is the problem.
Yeah.
And there are some obligations that we cannot say no also. But
Yes, you have to do it. Yes. Yes, for example, now I being the head of the center in few programs, I don't want to go and sit there. But still, I have to suppose being head of a center as an obligation, I have to go and sit there, or I have to show my smiling face and all as an obligation. Yes, I have to do it. No other way. But then that action, instead of out of compulsion going that, start thinking about that as a karma yoga. So that you can start thinking as, see, one is doing as a what you say like a slave mentality. Oh, I don't want to do it, but I have to do it. What to do? So that's the one thing. Second thing, as a duty set, okay, because it is my duty as head of a center, it is my duty to do that, so I'm doing it. Okay. Third, yeah, fine, fair, but whether I like it or not, but there's a necessity. So let me offer this as a service to my Ishta, to my chosen deity. That work personally, I'm not liking it, no doubt. But still, since there is a necessity, let me do it as a karma yoga and let me offer the actions at the feet of Lord. So again, this is an intention and attitude. When you are not able to get away from that because of some obligations and some duties, so use that as a tool to raise yourself, or use that tool as a worship or to love God or to get more and more renunciation or whatever. That's what the best thing we can do. Because all the time, whatever we think, however we think, we don't get it. Sometimes we get it, sometimes we don't get it. We have to live in the world. When we are living in the world, all these things are bound to come and bound to go. So, but how do you face it? How do you handle it is what the difference between person to person. So your attitudes, intentions come into the picture basically.
Yes, Maharaj, thank you.
Can we call Maharaj this prayers or as prayer with Purushakar, whatever is called the self efforts? So both together can give the result, or
Yes, yes. See, how much ever we say at the beginning, it is very clear. Our self-effort and the divine grace both should go hand in hand. Then by doing that, my little ego gets diminished, gets erased. Then slowly, I will become the fittest instrument in the God's hands. Then only I can say that everything depends on God. Everything depends on Almighty. Only God's grace prevails, etc. Till reaching to that emotional maturity, spiritual maturity, if I and you say that, oh, everything is God's grace, everything is God's will, divine will, it is just a lip service, it is not the fact of the life. Till then, self-effort and this, it has to go and hand like the two wings of a bird. Yeah.
yes, Maharaj, thank you.
Okay, then I think no more questions.
Thank you so much.
Pranam.
Namaskar, Maharaj.